Greetings dear friend and welcome once more to the Afri Revolution Company channel. I am Ken Jerry from Afri Revolution Company. In today's tutorial, we are going to be solving HND 2021 Practical, Part 2 Question 1, under Object-Oriented Programming. Before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. So now let's move to our question. So as you can see, we are on part 2, section A, object-oriented programming, C++ or Java programming. So we are going to be using our Java here. So let's proceed by reading the question. So the question says that a class called circle is to be defined as illustrated in the class diagram. It contains two data members, radius of type double and color of type string, and three member functions, get radius, get color, and get area. Three instances of circles called C1, C2, and C3 shall then be constructed with their respective data members as shown in the instance diagrams. Implement the class diagram in a programming, either C++ or Java programming. Remember that class attributes are initialized in a constructor. Making good use of the getter function, display all the attributes of the three instances. Also display the area of each of the object. Write comment indicating the type of access specifier used in the attribute. So here we can see the class diagrams. So we have the class definition, the class is circle, the attributes are the radius and the color. Then we have our methods or functions. So here we have the circle method with a single parameter, another circle method with double or two parameters. Then we have the get radius method, the get color, and the get area method. Then we have our instances. So for the instances, you can see that we have two attributes, the radius and color, and then three methods, which are the get radius, the get color, and the get area methods. So to solve this question, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code, and as I said earlier, we are going to be programming it using Java. So let's move to Visual Studio Code. So now I am in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to proceed by creating three different folders which I will need. So to do that, I'm going to move to terminal, new terminal. So I'm going to have make directory. The first directory which I'm going to create is the classes directory. That is done. Make directory. Then I'm going to create a source directory. That is done. And finally, make directory. And I'm going to create a test directory. And that is done. So if I expand this, you will see my three directories. So in the source directory, I'm going to create my circle.java. Fine. Okay. So then I'm going to proceed by creating my cycle class. Following my class diagram, I'm going to add my attributes. I'm going to make them private. So remember that we're told that the radius is of type double. So I have added my attribute. So the first thing I will need to do, I will need to create or to add a default constructor. Following my class diagram. So I have created my first method. So before I proceed, I would need to talk about some few things. So normally we have different types of constructors. So the first constructor that I have added here is what we call a default constructor. So a default constructor in Java is automatically provided by Java when no constructor are explicitly defined in a class. So a default constructor takes no parameters and it is used to initialize the object with default values. Now, the next, I will need to create a parameterized constructor. Following the class diagram, this constructor is having just a single parameter. Then I will need to create another parameterized constructor. Sorry, it's parameterized constructor. This time, according to the class diagram, this constructor is having two parameters, the radius. So at this point, we have created a three constructor, one default constructor, and two parameterized constructor. The first parameterized constructor is having just a single parameter, and the second one is having two parameters as specified in the question class diagram. So you must have understood that a parameterized constructor is that which you have to specify the parameters of that constructor. Now that we are done with that, we need a getter methods for the radius, color, and area. For the area, okay. So here you are supposed to have the domain knowledge that the area of a circle is pi radius square. So let's check again. And I think everything is okay here based on a class definition. So I'm going to move back to my source folder and I'm going to create another folder which I will call main.java. In the main.java file, I am going to proceed with then I will then create my instances. Remember that we are referencing the cycle class. The first instance is C1. Remember that C1, we were told that the radius was 2.0. And the color, let's check the color back in the equation. The color is blue. So I move back. We'll just copy this. The radius for C3 is 1 and the color is red. So I'm just going to add another instance which I will call C4. Just so that you should see what is happening. So now that I am done with this, okay. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for C2. The same for C3. And I'm going to do the same for C4. So this is all. C2 here. Okay. Let me save everything. So let me go back to the terminal and compile and see if everything is okay. So I'm having this problem, but when we look here, we can clearly see that it is being used here. So I want to compile all the files and save them in the classes folder. Then I will move to the classes. Let me first check if they are there. Okay. So So we can see our compile classes. So let me move back to the terminal. So here I'm going to move to the classes folder. Then I'm going to run it using Java min. So you can see clearly that our program is working. So we have cycle 1, which is this, cycle 2, cycle 3, and cycle 4. So thank you once more for watching this video. And remember, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and we meet in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.